I wish to express my thanks to Professor Ferit Kılıçkaya and Joanna for kindly inviting me, and Gülşah also for today's webinar. We feel honored and pleased to be talking about connecting with community through service learning activities. For our international audience, I'm sure we have our colleagues, friends from Turkey, but outside of Turkey as well. I just wanted to say a couple of things about Turkey and my hometown, which is Kemaliye in the city Erzincan in the eastern part of Turkey. Each country, in fact, has its own characteristics. Countries are generally known for their characteristics. And Turkish people are well known for their hospitality. We are very hospitable. We like having guests, we like putting them up, we like in our houses, we like serving them. We like friendship, we like visiting, and so on. So we are well known for our hospitality. Likewise, I had a warm and caring family who made it their mission to help others. Therefore, my service learning started at a very young age. This is a nice photo from my hometown, Kemaliye, a nice picture of autumn. My mother was a very kind, helpful, affectionate woman. She had ample patience. In addition to her household responsibilities, she would help almost every woman in our neighborhood and beyond neighborhood with sewing, knitting, with their clothes and solving their problems. Everybody would visit us almost every day and she would spend endless time with them. This is the house I spent beautiful days of my childhood. So was my father. He was a primary school teacher. He wanted to study law, but he couldn't because of my grandfather's financial situation. But he was very knowledgeable about legal issues, which he would share with others who were in need of help. Both my parents would expect nothing from the services they provided to the people in my neighborhood, in the community, in return, but they would get high level of satisfaction. So I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude for the endless services my parents provided for the community. Moving on from this, I'll introduce what we will be talking about from now on. First, I'll try to describe what service learning is, benefits of service learning to the community and to the students, when service learning is introduced in Turkish higher education. Since I am offering this course, we will be talking about the structure of the course, the kind of projects students are conducting as part of this course in my university, Çukurova University, located in the southern part of Turkey. And finally, I'll share with you some completed service learning projects. So, what is service learning? Back in 1996, Brindle and Hatcher gave a very nice definition of service learning, which highlights key components of this activity. Accordingly, service learning is a credit-bearing educational experience. It is credit-bearing because this is included in the educational programs as a kind of compulsory course, and students get credit for this. Students participate in organized service activity that meets identified community needs. Students participate in a service activity, but that activity has to be well organized, well planned, well structured, and they need to identify with a specific community need so that they can attempt to offer some kind of service to meet that need. Reflection is a very important part of this service activity, and students during this process are required to reflect upon their experience to tell us what is it that they are gaining as part of this service activity. And reflection, in fact, works both for the service provider and service receiver. And we also need to know what kind of effect service activity has on service receivers in the community. It aims to help students gain a broader understanding of the discipline and enhance sense of responsibility towards community issues. After this definition, we'll move on to benefits of service learning. In fact, service learning has been incorporated into educational programs in many countries, in the United States, in many countries in Europe. I can see service learning being provided in some Asian countries. And there are numerous studies about it. So the common point of the studies is that students who are engaged in this activity gain academic improvement in their knowledge, they gain personal growth, and they also grow in their understanding towards civil issues. Despite its use in many countries, service learning in Turkish higher education can be considered quite a recent phenomenon, because it was in the year 2005 that the Turkish higher education, which is responsible for organizing higher education programs, introduced this in pre-service teacher education programs. The objectives of the service learning, as stated by the Higher Education Council, are to develop in students sensitivity and awareness to current problems in the community, skills of collaboration and cooperation. Since such activities are intended to be carried out in teams, in groups, we expect students to collaborate, to cooperate with each other and learn from each other's experience towards serving the community. And self-reflection, again, is a very important part of this course. And students are expected to gain a sense of responsibility towards community issues and increase their self-confidence. So these objectives specified by the Turkish Higher Education Council are in line with the philosophy of community service, as I introduced in the description. Since my childhood, as I illustrated at the beginning of my talk, I've been inspired by serving the community. And since this course was introduced into teacher education programs, I've been offering this course. And this year, I decided to invite Gülşah, as introduced in her CV about herself. She had previous experience of performing various community service activities in Europe, in Croatia. So I thought her involvement in my course would motivate my students, and we would approach this course from different perspectives. We have 4 or 5 weeks left to complete this course this term. So Gülşah will tell us about the structure of this course and service activities our pre-service teachers have been involved in so far. I'll hand it over to you, Gülşah.
Thank you so much. So let me give you some background information about the course first. It is a course consisting of 16 weeks, which makes one term. And it's a 3-credit course. So it is usually expected from students to come with usual social responsibility projects. However, we wanted to do the things differently in 2 ways. One of them is to add some creativity and innovation to their already existing projects, such as using digital tools, because, you know, we are living in a digital world and we need to keep up with it. So we thought it would be a good idea to add some digital tools in it. And the other one is to convert the projects into campaigns. We will talk about the details and the reasons why in the following slides. And I will explain how we run the course step by step. So in the first week, we asked them what they know about community service, what their expectations are from this course, and if they have ever volunteered in a social responsibility project before. Then we talked about what community service is and why it is important. We wanted to motivate our students before, you know, because according to what we observed in the previous classes, students tend to do a project for the sake of getting credits. So we didn't want that. Based on the proverb, as you see in the slideshow, one hand washes the other and together they wash the face. We taught them the importance of teamwork in community service projects. At the end of the class, we wanted them to form a group of 6 because there are 30 people in total. And this way we would have 5 different projects and 5 different communities. Then in the second week, we assisted them with the possible project topics. The topics would be about homeless, disabled, elderly, orphans, women, or refugees. We added that it would be also possible to put animal rights, environment, and cultural heritage in their target as well. We talked about the previous projects that were done successfully in Adana province, where we live, such as social cohesion project of Syrian and Turkish kids. And we discussed about the outcomes of those projects. At the end of the meeting, we asked them to write their own self-reflections, as Yasemin, Professor Kırkgöz already talked about it, and their first impressions of this first class. We agreed to have their reflections weekly, as we stress out again and again, reflection is the core element of this course. The groups came up with some projects and we assisted them to continue with the applicable ones as they had to finish their projects within the time available. We also warned them not to work with elderly due to COVID-19 outbreak. It is forbidden to visit rest homes as it is risky, as you can all imagine. Finally, they agreed with their group members about the projects, and we asked them to create an outline of their projects, including their name of the project, what it is about, who or what their target group are, what the aim of the project is, and what kind of outcomes they expect from their project, etc. Then the other week, we discussed the importance of planning, as it would give a project a sense of direction. We guided them to develop a plan for deciding which steps to take, who to address, what to do, and when to do it. We reminded them to get permission from authorities if needed. And also we encouraged our students to create a weekly calendar and stick to it to finish their project in the allotted time period. By doing that, they wouldn't feel lost because it's a part of planning as well. And we discussed why they should advertise their projects. It's not to tell people we are doing a favor, right? But to create more awareness on the projects. We wanted our students to create a slogan and a poster for their projects, both in English and in their mother tongue, which is Turkish, and share them on their social media channels. People are, wasting their time on social media. So we thought Why not use it for good? With the right hashtags and eye-catching advertisements, a campaign may reach thousands, even millions of people. And we saw that millions of examples of it already. So we also wanted them to inform people at the university campus, at their internship schools, because they're at their senior years, they are doing internship as well, and their dormitories with their printed out posters and brochures. We asked the students to collect people's contact information. It could be either phone numbers or emails of people who were interested in their projects. You may ask why now, but you will learn the reason soon. And here is the reason. All right. The reason behind advertising was to appeal to a wider audience. I want to refer again to the proverb, one hand washes the other. We wanted them to involve as many people as possible to wash the face. This is something that we wanted to do differently. We believe that encouraging students to go big help their professional and personal development even more. They are now at the phase of implementing their projects. You will see the reflections of some students and some photos of them while implementing their projects in the next slides. As Professor Kırkgöz already mentioned, this course hasn't finished yet. They will take this step after finishing their projects. Once they are over, we will want our students to notice people about the outcomes of their projects for more awareness and inspiration. After the project, they will have achieved a task that people wouldn't even try to attempt. We will make sure that they will become aware of it. We will get information from preservice teachers asking how they could have done things differently, what they have learned about themselves, if they have developed their skills such as teamwork, leadership, planning, and social skills. Then we will want them to explore the impact of their community service activity on the target group they serve. The reason behind it, to see the outcomes of their projects concretely on the chart and to make them feel they have actually accomplished their goals. As I mentioned before, the course hasn't finished yet, so these are the expected outcomes. We expect our students to increase their sense of social responsibility, as well as to improve their critical thinking and interpersonal skills as they are working in a group. We expect that they will have more understanding of diversity and multiculturalism. We already discussed about refugees, and they also came up with some projects that were about refugees, but we said that it would be time consuming to do that because it was too general, let's say like that. All right, so we expect them to connect real life events to their academic learning. And we also anticipate that they will be more aware of the sensation of helping others. Now we will see some clusters of our students. We actually have 5 groups in total. However, we could only display 3 of them due to the time restrictions. The first project you see here is about collecting blue covers for the Spinal Cord Paralytics Association of Turkey. The association informed our students that 200,000 blue covers are enough for a wheelchair. So this group aims to have that amount by involving more people in their projects, because they cannot achieve in such a short time just doing it alone. So they need to involve more people actually. In the second poster, you see it is about stray animals. So they aim to provide shelter and food for the stray animals, and they're promoting their projects on social media to raise more awareness of needy and silent beings. The third project is about recycling. They started their projects by collecting the trash at the different districts of Adana province and separating them according to their material. Now they try to influence people and encourage them to recycle their trash at home as well. This is the group who are working for blue covers. They are collecting blue covers in different districts, in different places. This belongs to the student 1. In her reflection, we see how she stresses the skills she could improve, such as social sensitivity, cooperation, solidarity, effective communication, and self-evaluation, etc. This belongs to the same group, as you can understand from the picture, from the photo. They already started collecting blue covers, but of course it is not enough. This is just, I think, just a little amount of it. And here we see how the participants felt surprised to hear they would advertise their projects first, but then it made more sense later, because then he understood the reason that he needed to add more people to his project. And this photo belongs to the group who are providing food and shelter for stray animals. As you can see, the dogs, happy dogs. And in this reflection, we will realize that she didn't even know what the community service is about. Now she feels more responsible after this class. And this photo belongs to the same group. Here, the student indicates that even helping one person would be enough for him to feel excited and satisfied. He also says that this course encouraged him to do more. And it is also our main aim to make them feel the same way. All right. These photos belong to the third group, whose project is about recycling. Here, the volunteer thinks that every pre-service teacher should take this course to reflect their own class in their future career. And we are happy to hear this from the students, because they become aware of it, that they can also reflect it in their own classes. This photo is from the same group. You can see the bags, they are different. It says in Turkish, it is plastic, paper, and glass. And the participant underlines the feeling of helping, which can't be compared to anything. And now you will watch a video of a second group and see what they did to advertise their projects on social media. It is an Instagram Reels video, if you are familiar with it. There is a reason why they chose this song. It is a Turkish song, and it's really meaningful. And the singer says, "I know you're an angel. You were sent to help me." Indeed, I sometimes think that without dogs, life would be without joy, right? So I think it's really meaningful, and we really enjoyed. I hope you felt the same way. Now you will watch another video from the third group who are working on recycling. And there is a reason reason, of course, why they chose this song as well. It's because that they claim that this song has become popular on Instagram, and the algorithm allows you to be on the explore section if popular songs are used. They did it to be explored by others and reach larger audience. Now, I would like to hand it over to Professor Kırkgöz. Thank you.
Thank you, Gülşah. This is the stage we have reached with this year's community service projects. We are hoping to collect students' completed projects as well as their reflections to evaluate their experiences, to see how they felt during this learning experience, and also their reflection of the possible impact their services has made on the community. Now I'm going to continue with two completed service learning projects from my previous courses. These two projects are unlike the ones Gülşah has presented in terms of their topics, in terms of their content. They both have very touching effect on us. So the first example is related to the rest home visit projects. So this was done before the start of the pandemic, which made it easy for the pre-service teachers to visit such places and to carry out their service activities. So they planned it over a period of time. They planned a number of activities. And some of the activities were visiting different rest homes and doing different activities with old people. This was done in the province where I live, because the students are here, of course. Again, it was done in teams. Another activity was to listen to old people's problems, showing them that they are valued, doing some activities to cheer them up, which is very important, they thought, for this age group, and entertain them. In the Mother's Day was a surprise activity which they carried out, and we will see its effect on the community. Another activity they did was to plant the garden with beautiful flowers. Now let's see what the student teachers feel about this project. I have collected some reflections representing their experiences, their feelings, their emotions out of so many reflections. According to one student, they realized how important it is to be sensitive to the elderly. So I thought this is a very critical awareness for young people to gain. Empathize with them and share their problems. So this is an age where people would have many problems. So sharing their problem was very important. And we saw that someday we could be in their situation and again sympathizing with them. So we shouldn't leave them alone. We should stand by them all the time. So they developed a very important awareness in relation to old people as reflected in this reflection. What about its effect on the community? According to one student, they had a nice time. So they enjoyed the activities provided by the students because it was almost a break from their routine activities in the rest home. We organized a fun day with our Mother's Day activity. It made them really happy when we went there. So, you know, they were satisfied. They were very happy, the old people. They were very happy about this activity. They thanked us again and again for the area we planted with flowers. So this was another nice activity that left a positive impact on the community. And also the director of the rest home thanked us for our work. So they had to get an official permission from the director so that they could access this community to carry out their services, and the activities they did was also caught the attention of the director, and the director was also thankful for the activity. According to Perrin, it is essential that ESL students feel welcome and appreciated for their contributions. As illustrated in this nice quotation, the students were very satisfied with the services they provided, and the service receiver, the director plus the all people there also welcomed and appreciated their contribution. So both parties benefited from this. We have another service project, completed service project, again with a very touching effect. And this one involved helping the disabled project, and the kind of students were the blind ones. As part of this project, the team aimed to socialize students, teach them different topics such as solar system, and discuss about it. They checked their curriculum, and they wanted to introduce something that would be motivate for the students, that would be challenging, that would be new and more interesting, and make them repeat what has been taught. So this is a kind of educational experience for them, how to teach blind in case they happen to be teaching this type of students in future. Reading books was another activity planned, and they brought with them different materials. They prepared different types of materials for the blind to taste, smell, and then guess. In other words, they set up some mini activities for them to enjoy and to benefit from. Of course, all these activities were prepared over a couple of weeks' time, and they were put into practice on a weekly basis. And usually the program, we have 16 weeks of semester, academic semester, but 14 a week is taken up with such activities. How did pre-service teachers feel about this? They found it as a benefit for their own future teaching. Teaching the blind will have certain pluses on my teaching life. I'll be able to approach students more individually. So they became aware of individualized teaching, individualized attention through this project. I'll respect diversity more. So diversity is something that is mentioned quite often, but through this project, they actually experienced it and will build good relationships with them. So building good relationships, understanding their psychology and so on was what they reflected in their diaries, in their reflection papers. As I mentioned, we have many examples of completed projects, but I wanted to share with you only two of them because of the time we have. Well, to conclude, through service learning, teacher candidates gain valuable experience in adjusting their teaching, if it is a teaching type of service activity, exactly, to meet the cultural and personal needs of their students. This has been mentioned by a group of researchers, and we have observed this actually happening in the pre-service teachers in our program. Service learning can become a very productive experience, educational experience for the students and for the community, as long as it is well planned, well structured, and also during this experience, during this journey, it is absolutely essential to support pre-service teachers and to receive their reflection as we are trying to do. In other words, to provide a well and structured program. Finally, one important mission of universities is to educate and train people in their related job in the most effective way. Another mission is to connect with society, with community, and this can be done in the most effective way through providing community service activities, as we have tried to illustrate in our presentation today. We have some references that we have referred to. And we would like to thank you very much for listening to us today, for being with us today. If you have any questions, any comments, we would be very happy to respond.